Hey guys, I'm Signo, and today we have the official balance changes for the Season 7 of COD Mobile. And let's analyze the changes, if they are good, if they are bad, and go over some of the updated gunsmith builds and statistics, finally ending with what the new meta looks like. Starting with the Fennec. It received changes which dropped it from meta to non-meta. First is the range nerf, and our 16 meter range dropped to 13 meters now, and our 21 meter range dropped to 18 meters. This is pretty significant as even with range boosting we have 16 meter range for 216 milliseconds time to kill and 22 meter range for the 270 milliseconds time to kill. This time to kill can fluctuate because we also got a hitbox nerf, and instead of 0.9 times damage to legs and arms, we do 0.7 now. So our leg and hand shots are more punishing, and there are chances that our 216 milliseconds time to kill drops to 270 milliseconds time to kill, and the same happens in the next range as well. Nerf to range is fine, I expected that, but the hitbox from before was good and there was no need to change it. This makes Fennec similar to MX9 in terms of range, but worse than MX9 in time to kill consistency, hitbox, sprint to fire speed, and even ADS bullet spread accuracy depending on what build you use. Nonetheless, Fennec recommended builds are same. I'm using this for playing aggressive with good hip fire and sprint to fire speed, but you can try out my other recommended builds in the separate analysis video I did for it. In a nutshell, Fennec is still usable, but why not use the MX9 instead? Holger 26 received a bunch of changes. The sprint speed is 5.71 meters per second, and a 25 meter 4-shot range is 20 meters now, which is a harsh nerf as 25 meter range wasn't overpowered to begin with. The main culprits which made the Holger overpowered were the no stock attachment with the ridiculous 40% ADS movement speed buff, which received no changes, and instead the mobility got nerfed on the short barrel. The no stock did receive ADS speed nerf and also movement speed, but they don't impact the Holger much. The other attachments which made Holger good were the mag conversions, and both the 30 round mag and the 35 round mag got buffed instead of receiving any nerfs, and we have faster ADS speed with these mags depending on your build. The combat stock also got a nerf to ADS speed, but to be fair, as long as 40% ADS movement speed exists on the no stock, people in their right minds will ignore the combat stock. So the nerf did nothing to change our gunsmith builds, and overall, instead of nerfing the SMG Holger and the assault rifle Holger, the changes nerfed the LMG Holger instead. And now we have more of a reason to go with speed builds instead of LMG builds. Recommended builds are similar. My previous SMG build is now using the light barrel to improve the ADS speed, and here you can either use the granulated for better BSA or red dot if you don't like the iron sights. We can also use the light suppressor for sound suppression, and we have 17 meter range with this, which is fine since this is SMG build. And finally, LMG build will need mono now to get the better range, and either use the granulated or FMJ. Initial BSA on Holger is good, why we can use it without the granulated, but without granulated, don't do elongated sprays with it. The other build is with the flash card, and FMJ works better on it. I personally wouldn't recommend the LMG Holger, rather use the SMG version for it, and instead use the RPD for LMG playstyle, and this is the build I use and recommend. For more recommended builds, you can check out my Holger analysis, and the builds recommended there are still viable for this season. Taking a quick moment to remind you to leave a like and also a comment to help support the video. Shorty received a nerf to our range, and effective range is 7 meters now, which we can extend till around 10 meters with BSA build and range boosting, and this is my recommended build for it. Apart from range nerf, BSA also got nerfed, and if you want you can use the tactical laser instead for better BSA. And finally, the range on Marauder suppressor got nerfed, but it is still the best muzzle attachment. If you don't want to use this, use the choke instead, and rest of the build stays the same, either this or that. There are more Shorty builds which you can check out by looking at my Shorty analysis video. There has been a lot of hype around the LK24 recently, saying that it is the best assault rifle Season 7, but thankfully we did not get any overpowered changes. We got a hitbox buff and we deal more damage to the chest, which is fine. We rarely make use of the chest hitbox because of how little area it covers. And horizontal recoil got buff, which to be fair was never a concern. LK24 is beginner friendly for a reason. And hipfire also got buffed. There are attachment changes as well, like BSA being better with strike stock, no stock, light stock, and combat stock. So we indirectly got a BSA buff due to the attachments making BSA less worse now. Coming to gunsmith builds, I had this build for last season for a beam build and you can cross map laser with it. But if you want more ADS speed, you can use the no stock, else the red dot since the iron sights are bad, and there are other builds with the ranger barrel etc which you can check out following my dedicated video on the LK24. Russ got a chest hitbox buff which isn't enough for it to be part of the meta. Rather, use Bison or Razorback instead of the Russ. I'm using this build for Russ personally, but if you want more gunsmith builds, I have a dedicated video on the Russ. It is worth a watch. Still watching? Don't forget to share this video around in your Discord and social media so other people can also enjoy this content. Type 25 did not get a buff to stopping power, nor did we get a buff to the base recoil. We got attachment buff and steady stock gives better flinch and better horizontal recoil. And that's it. It is not a worthwhile buff as we don't even make use of this attachment in our own builds. But the best Type 25 build right now will be this one. I'm just joking, don't use that build. But I recently covered the Type 25 in depth, so take a look at that video for good Type 25 builds for season 7. Finally, AS Val received inconsequential nerf, and we have slower movement speed and reload speed when using the large mag. The best AS Val built in past just needs the sleight of hand now, and you're good to go. You can still use the granulated, but considering that we will play aggressive with the AS Val, the sleight of hand will help it more, why I will use this now. Overall, the balance changes are pretty good. There are some questionable nerfs like the Holger attachment changes and the Fennec hitbox nerf, but overall our meta is pretty balanced and not much is changed. I will have a top 10 gun season 7 for my next video, so I hope to see you there. But we received some good balance changes, and a big thank you to the developers for listening to the community and pushing for a balanced and open meta. Do share this video around in a Discord and social media and help support the video by leaving a like and a comment. I will see you again maybe tomorrow. Till then, take care guys and bye.